legislature was carefully crafted to
22.2% inflation rates as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call a police station, before they even leave, they'll take permission for.
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
The struggle with ASIS strike.
You have done your work, you have put us to the wall. We are not the slaves.
I'm not a small boy. You should have given me the report.
I have not seen the report.
Welcome. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us here on Global Morning. I'm Uyag Mofwebe. This is Global Television. We are in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, from where we are coming to you live. It's a great Thursday morning. How time flies, you say. I mean, we're just Monday, a few days ago today. Penultimate weekday, as we know it. But here at Global Television, we'll be taking a look at big stories for you, bringing you analysis and insights into several of these developments. Issues of insecurity are still making top of the conversation across the country right now for apparent reasons, but then governments and indeed security agencies have assured and reassured Nigerians of efforts being made to ensure that all of this is taken care of within the shortest possible time. We're seeing a drastic rejigging in the security architecture. We're seeing the modus by the police in particular being tweaked, and we hope all of these efforts pay off very maximally in the final analysis. But the idea or the decision by the Central Bank of Nigeria, which is the regulatory organ of government that is in charge of the banking sector in Nigeria, to move some key departments in its operations to Lagos, has become a big talking point in this country right now. As a matter of fact, there are those who say that decision is ill-advised, and they have their reasons. Because they say Abuja is a center, and as such, we shouldn't have a situation where you move a department of the CBN, I mean, as critical as banking supervision, from Abuja to Lagos. All right, they say because the idea behind Abuja in the first instance is to establish unity, to further encourage coherence, foster national integration. So their argument is that ultimately this kind of move will derail that objective, and that is also to add to the fact that the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAAN, is moving or has already moved some of its departments to Lagos as well. In fact, the headquarters of FAAN will move to Lagos. There has been a back and forth along those lines, but we now have players in the political space and those who are very socially vocal and influential saying that this move by the government is counterproductive. As a matter of fact, there are elders, there are influential people in the northern part of the country in particular who are saying that there are now some individuals, particularly those within the government, who are advising the president very, very wrongly. Just a few days ago, Senator Ali Ndume from Borno State was on national television where he was talking about how that there are people he referred to as Lagos boys who think they know Nigeria better than anyone else. They assume that they have, in his words, brains, and as such, they are derailing the president with their the ill advice that they are giving to him. He says there will be repercussions on account of this decision because according to him, by the time it's all said and done, these so-called Lagos boys will not be there to fix the problems and the consequences that will follow naturally. So the question is the CBN going to rescind his decision? Will the resolve or the idea of moving Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria's headquarters to Lagos be reviewed? Well, we'll wait to see. However, that's a very important conversation we want to have on the show today. We understand the president is out of the country, flew out yesterday on his way to Paris, France. We are told that it's on a private visit. But whatever that means, it's not the first time the president will be going to France or embarking on a trip that is said to be for a private visit. However, we're also going to look at what all of this means in terms of the economics of it, the diplomacy of it, and then how ultimately it's a win-win for Nigeria and indeed for the president, who is said to be the father of the nation. But before we go into all of those, shall we now talk about food for a few minutes?
Hello and welcome to another episode on Taste and Texture. I'm Fatimi Abomar. Nigeria pancakes are soft on the inside and crispy on the edges with subtle sweetness, making them perfect breakfast, snack, or even light dinner. When they are traditionally served for breakfast alongside hot beverages like tea or coffee. They are also quite popular as an afternoon snack, often accompanying chilled soft drinks. Furthermore, they can be adjusted to personal taste. Those who prefer a sweet note can drizzle honey, chocolate sauce, or dust the pancakes with confectionery sugar, while those of the savory can opt for butter or even add diced onions and pepper to the batter. And now to the ingredients needed to prepare pancake. Flour is the primary dry ingredient in the pancake batter, providing structure and thickness to the pancake. Sugar enhances the sweetness of pancakes and contributes to overall flavor. Baking powder is a leaven agent that aids in the rise and lightness of the pancake. Salt enhances the pancake flavor and balances the sweetness of or savory elements. Egg ensures the batter binds well and contributes to its richness and texture. Milk provides moisture and creaminess, resulting in a tender texture. Ground nutmeg, optional, adds a warm aromatic flavor to pancakes, adding a unique twist to the recipe. Vegetable oil for frying the pancakes to prevent sticking and achieve a crispy golden brown exterior. And now let's make it. Combine dry ingredients in one bowl and wet ingredients in another. Mix both into a smooth batter. Cook 1/4 cup batter in an oiled pan, flipping once solidified until lightly brown. Serve with any beverage of your choice and enjoy. And now to the health benefit, vitamins and minerals. Pancakes offer phosphorus and calcium, meeting 20 and 18% of daily recommended intake respectively. It makes pancakes better option for promoting bone strength and the ability of the body to create RNA and DNA. It serves about 12% of ordinary riboflavin, which is required for each day. One should take smaller quantities of thiamine, vitamin C, niacin, vitamin B6, magnesium, vitamin B12, copper, zinc, and iron. Eating pancakes means consuming a lot of carbs, and this is the reason why it is loved so much. Carbohydrates act as body fuel, making it an ideal source of energy. Whole wheat pancakes are better options, supplying fiber, which helps in stabilization of blood sugar, making individuals feel energized and consumption. However, all kinds of pancakes are ideal sources of carbohydrates, making it an ideal dish for people who frequently engage themselves in strenuous tasks. Pancakes is not recognized as bone-building food, but surprisingly, it is an amazing source of calcium. About 250 milligrams of calcium is provided in serving a whole wheat pancake, which is about 25% of calcium needed for the day. Buttermilk pancakes provide 180 milligrams of calcium. It also helps in better functioning of muscles and nerves and also contributes in controlling the blood pressure. This is why calcium is considered as one of the most important nutrients in our body. That's all for now. See you same time next time for another sweet and sumptuous episode on Taste and Texture. Bye.
Thank you, Fatima, for that breakfast idea, and I hope we find a way to follow through with the recipe and then make the most of it to just nourish ourselves and get all of the nutritional value from it. Fatima will be putting together for us again tomorrow another brilliant food idea, so get your kitchens ready. Okay, so let's talk about business for a second. We understand now that the EFCC is doubling efforts, maybe tripling it, with regards to all of the anomalies and sharp practices we've come to find within the foreign exchange segment of the market. Nigeria has been dealing with FX paucity for quite a while. We have heard several stories. The first is, well, because we are a country that is more, so much immersed, all right, in consumption as against production. So it's hard for us to earn, maybe almost impossible, foreign exchange until, of course, we begin to look inward, produce locally for not just consumption, but for export, so we can earn more greenback, the dollar, away from oil. There's nothing much you can do about that. Then we've also heard about the proliferation of bureau de change outlets across this country. Even though we know they have the association, there are some regulatory frameworks in place by the Central Bank of Nigeria to also ensure that some guards are created for them. All right, but then we hear about round tripping so much. People coming to buy the dollar at the official rates and then going back to the autonomous market, popularly referred to as the black market, to sell profits and just repeat that cycle. Recall that immediate past CBN governor, who was in acting capacity just before Dr. Olayemi Cardoso took the reins, had said that those speculators, currency speculators, were going to bleed. Did that happen? Has that happened? As of yesterday, at the autonomous markets, the dollar closed at 1,355 naira to the dollar. That was how it was between the naira and the US dollar, right? 1,335 naira. That's a whole lot of money. And then you are wondering, okay, so must we go to the parallel markets? Can't we go get it at the official rate? The question is, first of all, how much is the official rate? And what is the protocol for getting it? Of course, there are standard rules if you want to get the dollar at the official rate, all right? There's a procedure that the CBN, in collaboration with deposit money banks, has put in place already, and that's been running for a few years now. Whether you are going abroad for study, you just want to run to China to procure raw materials, you want to attend conference, or you just want to maybe pay for an item or service online. So there is a standard operating procedure for that. However, there are people who still cut corners, get this dollar at the official rate, go back to the parallel markets and sell, make money, and then continue that vicious cycle that has continually hurt this nation. But let's take a look at business roundup with Kikelemo Okeri.
Hello and welcome to Business Report on Global Money. Nigeria spent about 50% of its dollar payment to service external debt between January and October 2023, a significant portion underscoring the growing burden of foreign debt on the nation's economy. According to data from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, out of the $6.11 billion in a total outflow made during this period, a substantial amount of $3.07 billion was directed towards serving external debt. This figure represented a hefty slice of the nation's financial resources and indicates a significant increase from the previous year. The total spent on foreign debt service in these 10 months is $850.42 million, or 38% higher than the $2.22 billion expended in 2022. A monthly breakdown of the debt service payment reveals a fluctuating yet consistently high expenditure pattern. The banking sector has achieved an impressive full-year 2023 growth of 114.89% on the NGX Banking Index, reflecting investors' confidence and heightened interest in banking stocks. This is despite the fact that the Nigerian banking industry is still grappling with microeconomic challenges like weak business environment, limiting opportunity for growth, inflation, and regulatory policies. Taiwan Bank emerged as standout performers, as most of them are currently reporting above 1 trillion naira in market capitalization. They have also capitalized on foreign exchange gain resulting from asset revaluation largely influenced by Nigerian FX transaction dynamics. Additionally, the bank have seen a significant increase in their net interest income as a result of hike in the monetary policy rate. According to data from the Nigerian Exchange Limited, banking index also recorded substantial gains with an increase of 114.89% or 479.7 basis points. It wrapped up the trading year at 897.20 index points, a notable climb from the initial figure of 417.50 it opened in January 2023. Further check shows that it has already gained 15.77% or 141.52 points this current year from the 897.20 points it opened trading on January 2nd, 2024 to 1,038.72 points it closes on January 19. Historically, the banking sector has always been one of the sectors that benefit from an inflation and rate hike environment. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
We understand the FCC is probing some $347 billion funds, and of course has also summoned some foreign firms. So there are fundamental issues as far as the challenge of Forex is concerned in Nigeria, because as of today, every other thing has shot up in terms of price. I mean, prices are just flying out the window on account of constraints with regards to Forex. Look at airlines, for instance, just around the Yuletide. I mean, this last Christmas, some persons paid as much as 250,000 just to fly from Benin to Abuja or Abuja to Lagos. I mean, that was how crazy it got, and you're wondering what would we have done about that. Some people say, well, Jet's A1 fuel, which is the aviation fuel, was a factor, but then ultimately the entire narrative is connected to the constraints that we're seeing in the FX space. So at what point will Nigeria get it right? Well, it's a conversation that we need to continue to have. But let's talk about the issue of insecurity and what exactly it is that we're dealing with, which is a big conversation for us. By the way, on the program today, we understand that government is now more committed to ensuring that not only Abuja, but Nigeria as a country is safe for all Nigerians. We understand there are measures being put into place, including thorough, rigorous vetting of ride-hailing drivers, all right, across the country, starting with the FCT. We understand as well that there has been an expanded, massive deployment of policemen across the FCT. We understand that a lot of those points, those exit routes, all of those hinterlands where the terrorists and all of the kidnappers who come into the FCT to take people hostage, all right, have now been manned, some of them blocked altogether. We hope all of this make a whole lot of difference. But then the governments and indeed security agencies, whether it's the police or the military, must know that they have a responsibility to bring sincerity of purpose to the table, because there's a problem if that isn't the case. Where there's no sincerity of purpose, where everything is shrouded in secrecy, people are bound, especially in this social media era, to speculate, to assume, and then before the truth wakes up, falsehood, fake news would have gone around the world half a dozen times. And that's basically is a challenge. Let's join Chung Anamel as we bring you some highlights of entertainment news.
Nigerian singer Chike has won the hearts of millions of listeners through his sensational R&B music that incorporates Igbo indigenous music and Afrobeat elements. Chike has now recorded his first chart-topping single on Turntable 100, Nigeria's only aggregate chart that combines radio and TV airplay with streams across Apple Music, Spotify, Audiomack, and Boomplay. Chike achieved his feat courtesy of his hit single Egu, featuring the late street pop sensation Mohbad. Since its release in December 2023, the single has enjoyed commercial acclaim, especially on social media, where it has been used over 400,000 times on TikTok. The song has also had 5.9 million streams on Spotify since its release 1 month ago. The song is Chike's highest charting entry on Turntable Top 100 after running Remix with Simi peaking in the top 5. While for Mohbad, it's his second #1 entry following Ask About Me, which spent 1 week atop the charts. Since Mohbad passing in September 2023, his music has enjoyed a massive commercial resurgence with songs from both his EPs Light and Bless soaring on streaming platforms. The success of his collaboration with Chike extends his commercial acclaim as he continues to deliver hits from the greats beyond. Grammy-winning Afrofusion star Burna Boy is leading the exportation of Nigerian music through his award-winning music that continues to enjoy global commercial acclaim. In another feat, the megastar has locked his 5th entry on the Billboard Hot 100 as his collaboration, Just Like Me, with American rapper 21 Savage and music producer Metro Boomin debuted on 67 on the charts dated January 27, 2024. Just Like Me becomes Burna Boy's 5th entry on the Billboard Hot 100 following the charting of his hit single Last Last 2022, Sitting on Top of the World 2023, featuring 21 Savage, Silly Bands 2 with Brian Messiah 2023, and his appearance on Justin Bieber's Love by Me 2021. This makes Burna Boy the Nigerian artist with the most Billboard Hot 100 entries, a record he shares with Nigerian singing sensation Terms. Burna Boy also becomes the only African artist to debut at least one song on the Billboard Hot 100 in 4 consecutive years. Burna Boy has been in a record-making mood as he was recently announced as one of the performers at the 2024 Grammys, a feat that will make him the first African to perform at Grammys live ceremony. Burna Boy was nominated in 4 categories at the 66th Grammy Awards set to be held on February. Chunk Anamel Joseph reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you, Chunk Anamel. It turns out that I never even knew that Chike and the late Mohbad had a song they had done together called Egu. Right, so I was just sharing that with somebody last night. I had no idea that they had done that kind of song together, but then it is what it is now. Mohbad is no longer here. Passed on a few months ago, and his death, as controversial as it was, actually reverberated across this country. People took to social media to talk about, for those who had met him, for those who had one form of interaction or the other with him, to share their moments. And then there were also those who had concerns around the circumstances surrounding his death. They also took to Twitter, to Facebook, to Instagram to talk about all of these issues. They say he was a bright light, all right, that was turned out just when he was most needed. And then I was just curious, and I was asking what the meaning of Imole was, and somebody who understands Yoruba very well told me it means light, and that was some sort of spark for me, because I'd never heard of him until the very evening news of his death broke, and social media was agog. Videos of him, whether he was on stage or in the studio doing his sessions, were, all flooded YouTube. And as I say now, the rest is history. We understand that police is still on the investigation with a bit to unraveling all of those who had a hand one way or another in his death. But let's talk about Burna Boy as well. We understand that he has been shortlisted or lined up to perform this year at the Grammys, and then we also understand that he will be joined by other globally acclaimed arts. All right, but Burna Boy in particular has continuously stood up tall on the global stage. He calls himself the African giant in terms of music, and he has shown in ways that are very, very radical that we can change a lot about our lives, who we are, our career, the kind of impact we'll make, and how we want to make that impact. And today, you can't talk about exports from this country and not mention Burna Boy at the very top of it, because we've seen him go to places from Europe to continental America, to Asia, to the Middle East. Let's not even talk about across the continent of Africa, where he has met with heads of government, he has met with business leaders, he has met with diplomatic individuals at the highest level. And we were seeing him do all of that just because he has leveraged music to not only shoot himself, but to take the country and the continent with him. We're taking a quick break, everyone. Shortly, we'll bring you the Global AM News, and that will be followed by sports updates with Anthony Momodu, and the rest of the programs will be brought to you. I'm Uyag Mofigbe.